So something I hear about quite often, especially in spiritual circles, is people who try to micromanage their fears. Have you ever experienced this? Where you're moving towards, let's say, your passions and being more wealthy and living more of your purpose or whatever the case may be, but you notice fearful thoughts creep up in your mind. Maybe it's fears around money or fears around how things will go. And what I often see is people will then start to do their best to micromanage their thoughts, to not think the fearful thoughts or to tuck them away or to immediately think to shift to a higher vibrational thought or any of one of those methods, so to speak, as a means to not manifest what they're fearing. So I want to speak into that a little bit because this is going to liberate a lot of your mental energy and also just allow you to exhale a little bit. All right. What's going on, guys? My name is David Lyon. I am the creator of Living Magic, and I'm here to support you on your journey of spiritual growth, ascension, and mystical embodiment. So let's talk a little bit about fear and what a lot of people do with their fearful thoughts. The first thing I want to highlight right away is that you do not need to control your fearful thoughts. You don't need to micromanage them. But I thought our thoughts are what manifests. So if I'm thinking fearful thoughts, then that's what's going to manifest. It doesn't quite work like that. Yes, your fearful thoughts hold a vibration and they have an energy to it. However, you also have a unique energy signature. You have a unique energetic vibration that is constantly vibrating and emanating, whether you're awake, asleep, happy, grumpy, whatever plethora of emotions you might be in. You always have your unique energetic signature that is constantly vibrating, and thus and it's a positive frequency. And as we know, a positive energy is way more powerful than a negative energy. So if you know that you're constantly emanating your unique energy signature, that means that you're constantly, whether you like it or not, or want to or not, you're constantly attracting to you the synchronicities and opportunities and abundance and so on and so forth, the people that most resonate, that most harmonize, that are most connected to your soul self, to your true core natural self, the things that are perfect for you, so to speak. So where fear comes into play, the only place that you need to be conscious of your fearful thoughts is if you're choosing to invest in them and spend your creative energy on them. That's it. So what do I mean by that? So if, let's say, you're wanting to take a certain leap of faith and you just feel that calling to like go in a certain direction or to invest in a certain mentor or to whatever the thing is, just something where you feel lit up and called to. And then as you move towards that higher vibration, you start to surface fearful thoughts in your mind, which is a good thing. You start to surface fearful thoughts, and then you're like, oh no, I'm thinking fearful thoughts. Okay, I have to, okay, wait, think positive. Okay, wait, no, remember this. And you start trying to micromanage. You don't need to do that. As long as what you're not doing is, so let's say it's, taking the leap of faith, and then the fears come up of like, oh no, I don't have the money. Or what if I run out of money? If from that thought, you then choose to get creative about it or invest in it. So for example, if you go, okay, wait, I got to, because of this fearful thought, I got to hustle more before I'm ready to go towards my dreams. I gotta do more sessions, or I gotta do more work, or I gotta whatever, fill in the blank. That's you believing in the fear and investing energy into it and getting creative with that energy of fear. So of course, then you're just going to manifest more of that reality, right? If you're acting from the belief that things are not good enough, then all you can attract is more of not good enough. Pretty simple, right? On the other hand, if you simply recognize that your fears are, I like to give the analogy of, imagine that those kinds of fears are like nervous children in the backseat of your car, in the conscious, in your consciousness. So imagine as if you are the driver and you're taking your kids to an amusement park that they're absolutely going to love, and it's your highest excitement, and you could just sense and feel that they're going to love this, and you tell them about it. We're going to an amusement park. And then the kids in the back seat of the car, representative of fear, are like, oh, I don't know if I want to leave the house. I don't know if I can go on a roller coaster. And they have all these fearful thoughts around it. What you know as the driver or as the parent is they're just nervous, they're just fearful because they're going into a new experience, they're going into the unknown. And so it's unsettling for them. And that's okay. This is where you can have compassion for your fears. They're just thoughts, fearful thoughts that haven't been enlightened yet. And so if you were to stop the car and be like, and invest energy and create from that space and be like, hey, stop being afraid, right? Stop being afraid. All right, we'll turn the car around, and or any idea of that nature. You're just going to create more tension and more resistance, and it's not going to help their fear whatsoever. If instead, as the fearful thoughts arise, the closer you get to the destination of where you're looking to go, as the kids are reacting, if you simply recognize that they're just kids, they're afraid, it's okay. And you know that as soon as they get to the amusement park, they are going to go, whoa, and amuse themselves. They're going to see the cotton candy and the rides and be able to choose and whatever. If you know that when they get to the amusement park, their fear is going to transcend into joy and excitement, why would you have anything but compassion, right? Think about it. That's all that fear is. So the idea is to not to ignore your fears, because you wouldn't want to ignore your kids in the car, but to acknowledge them. Acknowledge, like, oh, yep, there's fearful thoughts arising. Oh, I'm feeling doubts. Oh, I'm feeling scared. Oh, the kids are acting up, and that's okay. You're in the car. And so you have compassion for that, and you keep going towards your destination because you're attuned to the amusement park of your dreams. Does that make sense? Is this helpful? So the idea here that I really want you to take in and recognize is that the energy of fear is actually the same energy of joy and excitement and expansion. It's the exact same energy, but it's being experienced as fear because it's being filtered through limiting beliefs and definitions in the mind. That's it. So imagine you have a beautiful, magical energy of joy, but it's going through a nasty filter. So it's like you have pure water and it goes through a nasty filter and it becomes murky water. It's actually probably not the best analogy, but you get the idea. That's all it is. That fear energy. That's why, when you see a performer who's about to go on stage for the first time, or maybe for the 1,000th time, before going on stage, they might feel incredibly nervous and anxious and all kinds of fearful energy. And, as much as they have the excitement to get on stage, 80% of what they're feeling is just nervousness and fear. But the second they get on stage and they get to the amusement park, all of a sudden they just lose themselves in the moment, and all that fear transcends into even more excitement and joy. And then they just, they sing and they kill it, right? It is the same energy, just wanting to be transmuted by arriving at the amusement park. All right. So I hope this information in this video is helpful, and it gives you a new way to dance with your fears without having to micromanage it. Because what I most want you to understand, or one of the things I most want you to understand and take away from this video, is that your fear is safe. Take that in for a second. Your fear is safe. How do you know it's safe? Because it's just fear. It's a misperception. It's a limiting belief cloaked over your excitement and expansion. And again, I'm keeping this in context. Of course, there's actual fear, like survival fear. Like if you're on the top of a cliff and you're about to fall down, that's real fear. That's a safety mechanism, a survival mechanism. We're talking about in the realm of mental and emotional fear. Okay. So I want you to know that your fear is safe. So you don't need to resist it. You don't need to push it down. In fact, here's a trick that you could do so that you could know for yourself what is on the other side of your fear and what's going to happen if you go in the direction of your fear and slash your dreams calling. So I want you to think of something where you're feeling called, but you also have fear. So maybe you have an inspiration that you haven't taken action on, or an intuition that's telling you to go in a certain direction, or to have a certain conversation, or to express a certain something. Whatever it is, think of something where when you think a bit about it, it's where you feel truth and calling, but also fear comes up. Okay? Once you have that, what most people do is once that fear comes up, it arises and they stop, they go, oh, and then they back off as if they're going to wait for the fear to go away. Here's a little trick. This will be a game changer. What I want you to do instead is when the fear arises, instead of backing off or resisting it, let it arise, acknowledge it like, okay, here's fear. This is feeling scary. Cool. And now what I want you to do, as that fear comes up and you feel it, I want you to feel beyond the fear. Feel what's on the other side of the fear, as if you're going beyond the curtains of the fear. And notice the energies, the textures that you feel on the other side of the fear. Guaranteed, or more often than not, I bet you anything that on the other side of your fear, you're going to feel more freedom, more expansiveness, more joy, right? Chances are you're not going to feel that it's actually tragic and like deadly or whatever case may be, unless it's truly something dangerous you're thinking of doing and you're not being smart. But more often than not, when you feel beyond your fear, having that conversation or taking that leap of faith, if you feel beyond and just feel the textures, you'll feel expansiveness, you'll feel freedom, you'll feel excitement, right? You'll feel joy. That is your way of knowing what is in that direction. That is your way of using your inner GPS, your intuition to sense what will happen if I go in that direction. Now, if you want to take it one step further, what I want you to do is, as you feel the expansiveness and the freedom and excitement on the other side, I want you to sense into it and notice if you could sense the textures of stability. Notice if you could sense the textures of wealth, of abundance, of flow, perhaps even of adventure, right? As you attune to more of the textures on the other side of that fear, that is you letting yourself know what is in that direction, what is on the other side of your fear, so that you don't have to guess. It's not even a thought. You're using your intuition, you're using your energetic senses to go, oh, okay, that is what's in that direction. That is the reality I prefer. I know that these are just my limiting beliefs popping up. All right. So use that tool. It is an incredible game changer. I promise it'll change your life. And I hope this video was useful. If it was and you feel like it can serve other people, please go ahead and share it in your stories or wherever else. And if you have anything you would like to share about this experience, any takeaways, go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. All right. But in the meantime, guys, I'm sending you lots of love. Thank you for being here, and peace.